In this podcast, I talked to Adarsh Menon, who currently works as a project manager at Exxon Mobil. He was one of the finalists of the first ever Padutha Theeyaga. Adarsh has been very supportive of me throughout the years, and it's very nice to have him as a guest on this podcast. We talk about stuff like how COVID-19 has impacted him, how he balances his work and singing, and more. Hi, Adarsh.
Hi Karthik, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Glad to be here talking to you.
That's nice. What made you start music and singing?
So I was inspired by my sister, who's older than me, and she started singing before me. And then I would always watch her and be like, wow, I wish I could sing too. And from what my mom tells me, when I was like 2 years old, I used to sing myself to sleep. So I don't know, music's just in my blood. My mom used to sing too. And so, yeah, just started that way.
That's nice. You used to sing yourself to sleep?
That's what she tells me. I don't know. I was too young. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So, how did you gain exposure when you were just starting?
So I used to take classes when I was younger. So I grew up in India, moved here when I was about 14. So I used to learn Carnatic music, and we used to take part in competitions, light music, film music, and then we started winning too, right? So I started winning some as well, and so decided that okay, maybe there's some talent here, and so yeah, that's how I started getting exposure and kept it going as even when I was a little older.
So competitions used to inspire you back then. They used to want to make you keep going.
I guess so, right? I mean, just like being able to learn different songs and compete with other people, it's fun. And yeah, it was, yep, that's what started off the music scene for me.
Cool. Why do you feel that music made you happy?
Music gives me anytime I'm stressed or anything at work, or when I was in college or anything, like I'd always listen to songs or sing, and then that would be like kind of stress relief for me. I don't know, there's something about music, there's like a magic in it that makes me happy. I feel like, nice and happy once I'm done practicing or just when I'm listening to songs. So
Just how like everything comes together, and just at the end, the result is just positive.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how did you learn music back then when you were younger? So how often did you take classes and stuff?
Just once a week. So once a week I would have music class. So we would go to our Carnatic teacher, and we would do that, and then practice, of course, right? So you would practice once every couple of days or whatever, and then next week you would go back to class, and they would test you on what you learned the previous week, and then you would learn new songs. So yeah, that's how I used to learn.
Did you have any difficulties in the learning process? Was there anything specific that you just didn't enjoy or something? Any part of the process?
As a kid, practice is always hard, right? You want to go out and you want to play and have a good time with your friends. So sitting down and like being disciplined about practice and stuff, I would, argue with my mom sometimes. But now looking back at it, I'm so glad that we used to learn and used to practice and stuff, because at least there's a foundation you can build on. And so I would say the biggest challenge is, you have to practice and keep training to be better.
So I heard you were part of the first USA Padutha Theeyaga series.
Yeah, so we were lucky. I was lucky enough to get selected and compete with some great people who are still my friends. We even did a Zoom call the other day. A bunch of us met up, and yeah, it was fun.
Could you tell us more about that journey?
Yeah, so I was back then I was in college, and I was also in like Air Force training at the same time. So I was really busy. And so then my mom talked to me, and she was like, hey, there's this audition for this like Telugu singing competition. I hadn't really heard about Padutha Theeyaga before that. And so I was like, okay, I'm kind of busy. I don't know if I want to do it. And then she was like, no, you should do it. And so I'm glad she did, right? And so I auditioned and got selected. And actually, I couldn't make it to the initial round in Dallas, but then they were nice enough to let me go to New York. That was the first round, and it was amazing. I mean, like I wasn't expecting to make it past the first round, but I made it to the finals, and it was a great journey. About 30 episodes, and got to spend a lot of time with SPB sir and my friends in that group, like Sandeep, Arjun, Manisha, all those people, and everybody's doing really well now. So that was a great journey.
Are there any specific moments with your friends that you still remember to this day?
Yeah, several of them. So each episode was in a different city, and so we also shared hotel rooms and cars and stuff like that at during the journey, because all of us were coming from out of state, and it was kind of expensive. And so there's lots of things I remember, like really funny things on stage, like when we were all so nervous and practicing our songs backstage, and there were a lot of good times.
And is there any specific things that Balugaru said that you still remember?
Oh, he would always say, like, he would always like try to compare my voice or find somebody similar. And so like, I remember once he was like, oh, your voice sounds like PB Srinivas. Then the next time he was like, okay, your voice sounds like Yesudas. And then once he was like, your voice sounds like Udit Narayan, right? So it was funny because he could never actually like pinpoint what it sounded like. And he was always like interested in my Air Force background. So since then too, when I've seen him, he's always like, hey, are you still a pilot? Like, what are you doing now and stuff? So those are good memories, like that he still remembers me.
That's cool. So what about the Zoom call, the recent Zoom call with the Padutha Theeyaga team? How was that?
It was great. So we all haven't really talked like that all in a single group for a long time. And so Sandeep organized that, and like it was really nice catching up with everybody, and the changes and the growth that we've seen in each other over the last few years. And it was awesome. I mean, we definitely plan to do it again.
That's cool. And what experience would you say that you gained from Padutha Theeyaga overall?
Oh, it was incredible. So I think before that, I just used to sing for fun. But like being on stage and getting that feedback from SPB sir and all the other judges and my fellow singers, right? So things like pronunciation. My Telugu singing wasn't great before, but like I really put a lot more hard work into learning songs, the dynamics of singing, just like range, control, a lot. I learned a lot more about like the technicalities of singing thanks to being on Padutha Theeyaga.
That's nice. So back then you were going to college and you were taking Air Force training, right?
Correct, yeah.
So was it really difficult to balance your Air Force training and your singing on Padutha Theeyaga, especially because it probably involved a lot of traveling for the show, right?
Oh yeah. So yeah, it was crazy because like if I look back at it, I'm just wondering like how I even did it, right? So I would get off like the training on like Friday evening, and then I would fly to a new city like Seattle or Oregon or LA or wherever the show was. And then, you'd basically be learning the song on the way when I was driving to the airport or driving back. And then we would meet up, and then we'd practice basically on like that Saturday all day. And then like at night we would shoot. So it was crazy, but well worth it. Like it was a really awesome experience. So would not exchange it for anything else, but yep.
That's cool. So you had to learn the songs on the way from your training to the event?
Yeah, because they would pick the songs for you, and so some of these songs I had never heard before, and so so I would have to learn on the way, and then on the airplane and stuff. So yeah, it was it was interesting.
Mm-hmm. That must have been stressful at times, but fun too.
Absolutely, yeah. Because then I would like listen to it a few times, 20 times or so, then call my mom. And then go over the lyrics and be like, hey, mom, like, what does this word mean? Like, am I saying it correctly? And she would give me feedback. And then, so yeah, that was, it was interesting to go through that, and it was stressful, but lots of fun.
So how do you like to add your own creativity to your performances whenever you're singing? How do you show them your own taste and your own flavor?
Yeah, so I think everybody or every singer brings their own flavor because our voices are different and our experiences in life are different. So like the emotion, the style of singing is very different. But because I grew up, for example, listening to Mohammad Rafi sir and SPB sir. And so like my voice is good for like melody songs, but I was also learning how to sing, fast beat songs and all other types of music. And so I think I bring my own flavor. It's definitely like different when you hear me and other singers. So I don't try anything different. I learn the song and just sing it like I normally would. And it automatically like has its own flavor because just like poetry or reading or writing, it's music is also an art. And so you're expressing yourself. And so that flavor comes in automatically.
So you learned, did you learn Carnatic music and movie songs and like light music? Did you learn those two separately?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're two totally different styles of singing. I'm not that trained in Carnatic because after coming to the US, I really stopped pretty much. I haven't found a consistent teacher. So it was like more of a foundation growing up. And then movie songs, yeah, is a totally different genre. It definitely helps you a lot to have like the Shruti Gyanam and like the notes and stuff. But like, so it's two different things. Yeah. So I practice each one separately.
Mm-hmm. So now you work at Exxon Mobil.
Yep.
So how do you balance your work life and your music?
I mean, because I love music, so I make time for it. So life gets busier, right? So when you're working, I'm a project manager right now, and thanks to COVID this year, like I've been working from home, so I've been able to focus more on music and learn Western classes and Indian music as well. But yeah, so it's there. It's like you're juggling a couple of balls, but you have to keep them all in the air at the same time. And music is very important, right? It flows through my blood, so I definitely value taking the time to do it.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that you started to learn Western. Was that Western vocals or instruments or?
Yeah, it's Western vocals. So I'm a tenor range in Western music. So I'm learning like opera style. I've been doing that like on and off. Like I started that in Pittsburgh right after Padutha Theeyaga, and like now I learn from the same teacher. He's a professor at Carnegie Mellon, and I'm also like when I was in college at Michigan State, I started an a cappella group, and so it's called State of Fifths. They're doing really well right now, and so the Western style of singing is fun too. It's again totally different from Indian, and so I still like that genre just because it teaches me like range and technique and stuff like that.
So you're a very diverse singer.
I hope so. That's the goal. I definitely want to be versatile, but I think music is like a language spoken by everybody, right? Like once you speak it, it's like a language. So I'm just trying to refine it and get better.
Cool. So how would you say the lockdown recently has impacted your work? So from a work perspective, I'm not driving back and forth to work. It's still really busy with Zoom and technology. So I was actually supposed to be in St. John's, Canada right now. But that didn't happen because of the lockdown. Which is fine because it's given me more time to spend on music and other things that I love to do. It's been a little tough, like not interacting with my coworkers and friends at work, but it's also been a blessing because I'm able to focus more on the things I love. Mm-hmm. And so, how would you say it impacted your musical journey?
From a musical journey perspective, there's both. So I don't have shows right now because Obviously there's no crowds and there's no performances going on. I would have been a little busier during this time with some shows. But on the other side, though, like Zoom has really helped me. So I'm able to take like Padyalu classes from Parthugaru, and my Western classes are continuing. And so I'm able to focus a lot more on learning right now. And so hopefully, like when things open up again, I'm a better singer, and I can do a lot more with my voice.
Mm-hmm. And not having to drive to work and being able to not have to go to Canada probably helps save a lot of time, and that time can be spent on music, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So that is a blessing.
I think I've seen you in maybe like one or two different like events, like Zoom meeting events.
Yeah, I've seen you too. I've seen your singing. One day I hope I'll be as good as you on screen. I love watching your performances. So keep singing.
Thank you. How often would you say you perform events nowadays compared to the past?
So do you mean like because of COVID or?
Yeah, because of the lockdown, because of COVID.
Yeah, so it's a lot less now. I'd say I've been getting like one like virtual concert a month. Before the lockdown, I was probably like doing a lot busier, doing two or three shows a month. So it's been slower, but it's okay. That's where I've seen you on some of the Zoom concerts, which are not the same as having the audience with you and like cheering along and dancing with you and stuff. But it's different, right?
Mm-hmm. But now you can be in Houston without having to come to Houston. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's true. Correct.
So who are some people who inspire you in the industry?
Oh, in industry for sure. SPB sir. And my sister is actually like she's in Bombay right now. She's aiming for Bollywood, so she's always been an inspiration, like I told you. And other than that, I mean, like I love so many people. I don't know where to start. Like, there's so many great singers that bring their own style, like Sid Sriram and Udit Narayan and Mohammad Rafi, and everybody inspires me in their own way. Like Chitrama, like I've met her and seen her, and she's such a nice, humble person, and what a great singer she is. So there's a lot of people that inspire me, and I always look up to them.
Cool. That's nice. What would you say drives you to still continue music, to keep going?
It's a part of my life, so I don't know what I would do without it. So I think life would be really boring and depressing if I did not have music in my life. So it's pretty easy. It's just like breathing, where I music is just a part of me now. I can't see myself without it. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm singing. When I go to bed at night, I'm singing. Right. So it's just a part of me.
Nice. So is there anybody you want to thank for helping you on the journey to become who you are today?
Definitely my family. I would definitely put my family as number one, because they've always supported me and always accompanied me everywhere that I wanted to go, and been there when I need help with lyrics or anything else. So that's number one. And then other than that, I would say like anybody I've touched or anybody on the journey, including you, any of the audience, the judges, the fellow singers, the friends I've made, like everybody I'm very grateful for everything I've been through.
Nice. And is there anything else you want to say?
No, I would say, thank you for having me here today, Karthik. And I love seeing the young talents like you prosper and grow. And I hope you do more of this stuff and keep singing, keep dancing, keep smiling, and yeah, thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for coming.